Hello, welcome to the Spider's Web, and I just thought to give you a quick update of what's been going on with the tiles for Castle Ravenloft. Well, as you know, I started off doing the start tile, then I did the corner tile. I've been a little bit busy because so far I've done the start tile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corner tiles, and one of the corner tiles is my version of the secret stairway tile. That's how the original tile looked. Mine looks like that for the moment. So basically all I've done is got some card, 2-inch wide. This one I've done 2-inch. The bottom one was 2-inch square. The next one up was how was it? 2-inch wide by 1.5 inch, then 2-inch by 1 inch, then 2-inch by 1/2 inch, and then just 2-inch by I don't think it wasn't 1/2 inch. I don't know. It was 1/4 inch, just to take it over that step at the back of the wall. This is done to join up, and how is it going to look when I finish tarting it up? It's not going to stay like this. How's it going to look? Well, very similar to that actually. This one is the crypt corner 6 to 10, which, if I get my cards, if I can find my card, is that one. Now, I've put these stones on as a little extra detail effect. As you can see, as you may be able to see there, that's where the monster spawning point is, in that corner. But instead of putting the skulls, I've put a little mess of hot glue there, and I've also made a few cracks in the floor tiles themselves. I've also used the pumice and gone over all the back parts of it, and I've got another one exactly the same, and this one is the crypt corner 16 by 20 or 16 to 20, as you can see there. Which again, let's just find that one. The one you're looking at is this one. And there's the bit of the hot glue gun, or the hot glue from the hot glue gun, to show the spawning point. I forgot on a lot of these to cover the exposed edges of the foam with PVA glue. The reason I do that is because what I've done when I've got past this stage and on the pumice has dried is I paint them a matte black. In fact, there is another corner piece somewhere. I've done the rotting nook as well. Now where that is, I don't know. But this one is the crypt corner 1 to 5. This one is the crypt corner 11 to 15. They're both painted matte black. And of course the start tile, which again is painted matte black. You can see a little better here the bit of glue from the hot glue gun. There's more stones, bits of sand, stones around the edges. These will be highlighted accordingly to fit in with the bases. Okay, so if I put those aside for a moment, because I'm coming back to those, because I'm going to show you how I'm going to be painting them. You've seen it before, but I'm going to show you again. The Rotting Nook card looks like that. You've got what looks like a bit of vegetation that's basically decaying and rotting down, and you've got your spawn point there. The way I've done my version is using hot glue. I've just put strands here and there, great big splodges, which I'm going to do up in green. There's parts of the hot glue which has dribbled out of the gun while it's been resting. They've come out as quite an interesting organic shape, so I brought them off the piece of card that the hot glue gun was resting on and stuck them down. And yes, a small piece can fit, one of the smaller figures can fit on, possibly not all the way on that one, but you can sit it on top. And the bigger figures, like for instance the skeletal lancer, can fit there, not a problem. So I made sure of that before we actually allowed it to dry fully, because I stuck that down with PVA. So we've got that to do, but as I said, what I intend to do now is just to show you my ideas for painting. And as I said, if you watched my video of paint when I made the dice tower, you've seen what I'm going to do there, but we're going to do it again. So I want some shadow grey, and that's going to be going all over the black here. We're not covering on the black because we don't want to do that. I'm not going to be doing a lot of highlighting either on these back parts. I'm just going to do the bare minimum, which is just the shadow grey and probably fortress grey, because I don't want these to stand out too much and detract away from the main area, which is in here. So as I say, it's just going to be a very simple, straightforward dry brush kind of thing on the outside of these. And I've left the vertical edges of these areas plain. And this is one of those that I actually forgot to PVA, and when I've sprayed it, all the foamy sides melted, so I've had to put another piece on, which is why it looks like that. So stupidity in action, can't beat it. So that's most of the outside done, so we're not doing anything major with that one. The next step is to do all the insides, the playing area, where all the monsters are going to be moving, where all your heroes are going to be moving. This is the bit that we're going to be focusing on. So what we're going to be doing is going upwards with that, and then from side to side on the floor. the reason for this is we're going upwards to start off with, and then we go slightly off to one side, just a slight angle towards the interior corner. That will bring out, hopefully, the all the crevices, all the gaps in between the tiles. And here on the ground you don't really need to do any good amount of coverage. We're just basically wanting a lot of the black to vanish. We don't want all the black on show, or we don't want much black on show. So that's the shadow grey. I'm just going to do one to show you what I'm doing. Once I've painted them all up, well, as I say, I've painted this, I've sprayed that one, I've sprayed the start tile. They can be done off camera, just to save a bit of time. But I just want to focus more on showing you how I do what I'm doing. And here we're going to do lightly downwards, not vertically, we're going diagonally in with the Codex Grey. We don't want much paint on the brush, but we don't want a complete dry brush. We want like a happy medium, shall we say. So we want it going from top to bottom, because this is going to be where, if there's any light at all, this is where it shows. I want to make sure it's all brighter at the top than it is at the bottom. There we go. And now the base, it's just scuff it on. So that's the medium highlight done, and now a brighter highlight, which will be the Fortress Grey. And we just want that on the top edges of the verticals. I want like a crisscross effect to it. If I was working on a painting, I would suggest the stroke to use would be something like that. But as you can't get that effect on this because there's not enough space to swing your brush, we basically go one way and then the other. It's just like cross shading. Anybody who's into drawing and sketching, that's basically the effect we're going for. It's cross shading. Here we're just going over a few areas, making it a little bit brighter, because the next colour we're going over with here is going to be the final highlight, and we're not going to have much of it on, to put on, but we want all the stones gone over with this, because as I said, we're doing this to tie in with the bases. And now we can go over the top, and this is the last highlight we're going to be doing on the back part. This is just going to be fairly dark and inconspicuous, and we say, but we want it want to make it look something like, but we don't want to do as detailed as good of a job as the front, if you get me drift. So there we are. Now normally on these I would do a white ultra extreme highlight, but not with these. With these ones, some are going to be white, others are going to be Screaming Skull. Well, you're off, laddie. Got bored of something sitting behind me. So we'll do our Screaming Skull one first, and we want this as a dry brush. So it's get the paint on the brush and then wipe it off, and we're just going down. Then where the stones are, we can go over them. As I say, it's just a case of making just the top layer of this wall that little bit brighter, so it hangs down. And it doesn't matter if, like with this one, the bristles have separated, it gives a nicer effect that way. With this, I've missed that area. I can't idiot. Right, so I'll just catch up with myself here, and I'll try and keep babbling while I'm doing so. So, as I said, we're going to be doing a slightly different colour for the base of this, which will be the Screaming Skull, and that really is because I want it to look slightly different to the walls. Although it's the same kind of stone, or it will be the same kind of stone. I just feel like on the grey is going to be could be a bit too much after a while, and I would like a bit of a change. Plus, if you take notice of the tiles, the tiles are like a greeny grey, and the wall areas are black, and I want to try and give that similar type of effect, but not exactly the same way, if you get me drift. So by doing the walls dark as one colour, and the floor a different colour, I think it'll break it all up, let's put it that way. Hopefully it'll make it look a little more interesting, which is, after all, what we want. The only snag is I'm trying to work out how I'm going to do the coffins. And coffins, the statue, and there's also a ring of power, I think it is. Let's see if I can find that. Arcane circle, it is. It's that one. I'm not sure I'm going to transfer that one over, but I will think of something. That's great. So now it's Fortress Grey, isn't it? Have I just done this at all? Oh. I told you I'm tired. My brain's not quite working now. Okay, here we are. And I'm not really bothered about the cardboard base that I've stuck them on, shall we? Because when it's all flat on the table, you're not going to see the corrugations there. You're just going to see the you're going to see the figures. You're going to see all the main terrain. So that's almost all of it done. So it's just now doing the areas I've missed in the white. As I said, that's just coming straight down. Just realised I don't want to do there in white. Okay, so that's that. Next, I'm going to change brushes because I don't want to use this brush for the creamy colour. So I'm going to change to a slightly thinner one. And when I say thinner one, I mean a narrower brush. Next again is just going to be a virtually dry brush. And we don't want it everywhere, we just want a few places here and there that is this cream colour, just to break up. There we are. Hopefully that gives a good effect. Next, we're going to be doing our spawning point. And as I said, I don't really want to use bones. So I had a different plan in mind. And my plan is pools of blood. So with our Citadel standard brush, we'll get some red, what red is? Scab red on our bristles and just go over the raised areas with it. I'm going to have to hunt round tomorrow and see if I can get some replacement sticks for my glue gun, because I've run out. I only got 2 with it, and they didn't last very long because they kept leaking out all over the cardboard while I wasn't using it, which is a touch annoying. So I'm not just going over the highlighted areas, I'm doing a few marks all over the space. The raised areas are going to be the raised areas I will be going over in blood red. Just to pick them out. And I'm looking forward to getting these done and playing my first game using them. And I may even do that on camera and have because I'm planning on trying a solo game, or a multi-character game of it again for the camera. Now whether I can find someone to join in with the game and we each control characters, or whether I just pick 4 characters and play them one at a time, I'm not sure. But the amount of mistakes I made when I first did it, I feel as though it would be a good idea just to do it again and try and improve. So there we go, and that's how I'm doing the tiles, and I hope you find that a good replacement for, what is it, Crypt Corner 11 to 15. Here we go, come on, where are you? 6 to 10, 1 to 5, 11 to 15. So I hope you feel that looks a little better than that. Let me know if you do, let me know if you don't. But until the next video, take care, God bless, and bye for now.